All right, how on earth do we know if this is working or not? Could be interesting. Let's see if I can tell what's going on. It is. Hi, thanks, Seb. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's been a long time since I've done anything at all with Twitch. Nice one. So, Advent of Code then. There we go. Can you hear me now? It's going very well. Yay! Okay, cool. Um, so now you can hear me. I read through that. I assume you guys can read it too, by the way, at adventofcode.com. If you if you didn't weren't reading along with me. But basically, we've got this list of numbers here as an example, and we're trying to count the number of times that number increases compared to decreases. we only care about the increases, so the answer to the example is 7. We've got a larger input file for the actual question, but initially I'm just going to try and run some code to generate the same code as the example. Oh, I look terrible on a white background. My green screen isn't quite right. Just have to pretend I'm not fuzzy. So just created a console application with a .NET New Console, and I should be able to do a .NET Run, and that should output the hello world command. There we go, hello world. Cool. So let's set up just a really simple input array. And for the ease of time, I'm not going to do any reading in any data. I'm just going to paste in the array. That keyboard shortcut doesn't work in here. Oops. I'm going to replace an end of a line with $1 quote comma. Cool. So there's my input. Then I'm going to very simply what am I doing? It's a for loop. For each why am I doing a string array? It's an integer array. Oh dear. I didn't need any of those. It's much better. For each I in input, and I'm just going to have a counter variable. This isn't necessarily the best way of doing this. If you see I'm doing something ridiculously stupid, do let me know, and I'll try and pay attention to the chat at the same time. So just going to very simply go, I probably prefer a for loop actually. I don't know why my IntelliSense isn't playing along. Doing this from memory. So the previous number, actually, we can start this from the first one because we don't know the second. Sorry, we can start this from the second one because we know the first one doesn't count because there's no previous value. So we can go var previous is input I -1 var current is, then we're going to say increases is going to be, we're going to add to increases if previous is less than current, we're going to add 1, otherwise we're going to add 0. And then we're going to console.writeLine increases. If you do a .NET run, hopefully that'll output 7. Hooray! So that works with the test input. Let's see if we can. I don't use code, Visual Studio Code very much, so this is kind of one of my reasons. Function, oops, it's not that's JavaScript you're writing, Joe. Public void, no, public int void, public static void day one part one, and that's going to have an int array of input. What doesn't it like about this? Never used, that's fine. Okay. Presumably we can do day one, part one with input. So that's the example. So this is going to get very messy very quickly because this is massive. Yeah, so I was saying I don't really use Visual Studio Code. So this would be a good time to play with it. Whoosh. I did not select everything, did it? You know what? Find and replace it. 0 to 9, and then an end of line. We want to replace that with comma. This is where the second part of this test is going to come along. And completely change how I want. It's going to want me to. I'm going to want to rewrite all of this. Okay, so I can then put my answer that's generated into here. I got the right answer. Hooray! Part 2. Okay, so considering every single measurement isn't as useful as you expected, there's just too much noise in the data. So instead, consider sums of a 3-measurement sliding window, again, considering the above example. Okay, so we're going to start by comparing the first and second 3-measurement windows. Measurements in the first window are marked A, that's the first 3. Their sum is 607. Second window is marked B, it's the sum of 618. Sum of measurements in the second window is larger than the sum of the first, so this first comparison increased. Okay, so we're kind of doing a rolling average. Your goal now is to count the number of times the sum measurements in this sliding window increases from the previous sum. So compare A with B, B with C, C with D, etc. Stop when there aren't enough measurements left to create a new 3-measurement sum. Okay, cool. So I don't think I actually have to rewrite much here. Yeah, I was looking at last year I did write a little script. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. Last year I did write a little script to download the files. But considering I'm trying to time box these to half an hour, I thought I might leave that till another time and go from there. Yes, you are right. It 100%. Just use an web client or something to download these. I think they're unprotected, so you can just download them directly. I believe you have to log in to see the challenges, but I think the inputs are untouched. So we're now actually going to want to start on the third one because group A is that one. So we we still? Yes. I think I'm making sense. No, we're going to start. Still going to start at. I'm going to rejig this slightly. Let's start at the 0th element, but each time we're going to make I increase by 3. We're going to take. I'm going to call this A, which is slightly confusing because. Slightly confusing because I don't know. Because these are groups are called and labeled A. I'm just going to now actually store the previous measurement here. Kind of like this. So we're going to start at 3. I'm going to get A, and that's going to be input minus 2. B is input minus 1. So this is the. So we're starting on the 0, 1, 2. And we're going to read this element, the one before that. We're going to also get the previous. So A plus B plus C. Oh, what am I doing? Sure, let's just, it's not going to be 2, that's going to be 5. So we're also going to get this is not nice at all. So that's D, E, F, and previous is going to be A plus B plus C. Yeah, this isn't that tidy. We're going to go as far as input length. Yeah, we can go as far as input length. That makes sense. I guess let's give that a run with the example. Oops, I should probably save that. Definitely, the half-hour limit definitely adds some 2. So let's declare, let's ignore that. So I'm getting. How do I debug? Anyone know how I debug? Someone knows how to debug, right? How to run with it, hit a breakpoint in a .NET Core app. That didn't help much. Start debugging, F5. There we go. There we go. Okay, so var A, B, and C is 199, 200, and 208. And that's the previous value, which is 607, which is what it says here. The second window is B. So that's 2. I know what I'm doing. I only want to increase by 1. Because window B starts here. I was doing them in completely separate groups. Don't know why. Let's try again. 5. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of working. So let's assume we can run this for the input as well. So we should get 5, and then 1, 5, 3, 9. So with these challenges, they tend to kind of build upon each other as the tasks go on. That's not the right answer. It's too high. No. So I'm going to really regret having this so messy. 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 9. So it definitely works for the short one. What have I done wrong here? This is the thing to think about now is at the end, it should be stopping at the last element. And then it's going to look at previous. No, I got my previous calculation wrong as well. So, because I'm looking at the 3 complete untouched elements, but actually I want this to be -1, -2, and -3. Yes. That's only got 4, and I know the answer is meant to be 5. Maybe I'm not running it enough iterations. So the first run through of this, yeah, let's look at the second one because I skipped that breakpoint. Oh, here we go. Previous is 617. No, it's not. The numbers I should be outputting. Let's stop this nonsense. And let's stop this nonsense as well. We just want to work through the example one. So I suppose we want to be logging here. Actually, let's log. Whoop. It's called WriteLine. Definitely in JavaScript mode today. Let's log previous and see what we end up with. Saving the file helps. You can't see what I'm typing in here, can you? Let's put me over here for today. So I've got 618. It's starting a bit early, I think. 617. That should be 618. Oh no, I've missed the first 2 out. I don't want to be starting up as high as 5, do I? I want to be starting out at number. I'm trying to, so for B, I'm trying to get an increase. So B, I should be on 0, 1, 2, 3. I changed all my other numbers. I didn't change that one. So B is 3. I'm going to look at the previous values, which are this, the sum of this, which should be 607. Okay. 607, 618, 618, 617, 647, 716, 769, and the answer is 5. Correct, that's what we wanted. Okay, let's ditch that. I feel like I've probably got it this time. Let's do this one instead. And it'd be much nicer to use the test cases for this as well. 1471. Hooray! That's it. I did it. Yeah, so I've got some incredibly messy code. Bang on the half hour though. I've got some incredibly messy code here, and I'm hoping I won't regret this going on. It'd be really nice to use .NET tests as well. But no. But it's just time-wise, it's a bit of a pain to do. My variable names are useless. But that's the trouble with some of these more conceptual things. There's probably a much nicer way of doing it as well, but I can't quite think of it at the moment. Probably use some link to group them together. But this works for now. And in time pressure, I think that's the best way to cope with it. But that's it. I need to go and have some food now before I get back to work. Please do leave any comments or drop me a message. And if people keep showing up to these, I'll keep on trying to do them. So I'll try and be back here tomorrow at, I'm not working tomorrow, so I might end up trying to do it a little bit earlier in the day, but I'll post in all the same places. Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble on and write some terrible code. Hopefully I can improve it over time. And yeah, at some point, core activities, I will try and write a little tool, and it might not be in one of these half-hour sessions because even those 2 minutes are too precious to write a little tool like that. But I'll walk you through it if I do write one. Thank you very much. Speak to you tomorrow.